Welcome back. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo has asked the attorneys general in the country to leverage on their contacts and individual positions to effect the changes necessary for the justice sector. He said this when he received the 6 attorneys general from the southwest states who were led by the Ekiti State Attorney General Olawale Faponda. The delegation briefed the vice president on the progress of justice reforms in their various states, many of which they said were inspired by the successes recorded during his stint as Attorney General of Lagos State. While the Vice President commended the Attorneys General for the work done so far in ensuring reforms in the justice sector, he urged them to ensure prosecutions move quickly and devote some time to improve the pace of cases in courts, especially at the state level. In other news, the Lagos State Ministry of Justice has taken its campaign against the nefarious activities of land grabbers to the residents of Ekpe and Ibeju-Lekki communities. At a stakeholders meeting on the issue, the leadership of the ministry educated residents on the available laws and the rights of residents and communities.
Government officials, law enforcement officers, traditional rulers, elders, landowners and residents of Ekpe and Ibeju-Lekki communities are all gathered here for a stakeholders meeting on land grabbers, the law and your rights. The State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice was represented at the event by the Director, Office of the Public Defender, and he told the gathering that the rise in cases of land grabbing in the state is giving the government a lot of concern as it continues to impact negatively on the growth of the real estate industry and investment.
There cannot be progress, there cannot be investment, there cannot be security, there cannot be good governance if there is no enabling environment for good ownership of land, and also to ensure that people who have title to land are also protected in terms of their investment in the land, probably for manufacturing, for development, for any other purpose to which the state has given them title for. So one cannot overemphasize the importance of this kind of meeting.
He explained some of the provisions of the Lagos State Property Protection Law 2016, and in particular Section 2(1) and Section 3 of the law, which prohibits the use of force to take over another's landed property, an offence which attracts a jail term of 10 years imprisonment.
As from the commencement of this law, a person or group of persons shall not use force or self-help to take over any landed property or engage in any inconsistent with the proprietary right of the owner. A person or group of persons who haven't used force to take over a landed property in the state before the commencement of this law and remain in possession of that law is liable also, and he has committed offense.
One of the traditional rulers present acknowledged the efforts of the state government at curbing land grabbing. He also noted that the community and the police have an important role to play in the Greater Lagos Initiative.
Our youths, we are the one encouraging them. They have become lazy and sloppy. They don't want to do anything. And as a result of that, some of us recruit them. We will keep our own children abroad. We put our own children in good schools. Some of us will recruit them to be doing land grabbing. And then you now give them peanuts. Rather than encouraging them to go and learn a trade, to go and do a job, to go and do something with their lives, they'll be doing land grabbing when there is no other thing for them to do. And then they give them all these guns and all these things. Forgetting that there is a law well laid out by the state government concerning property protection. They call it state property protection law. Am I right? Yes. Yes. That is in place. And that anybody that goes foul, I'm glad that the law enforcement officers who they are here today, anybody that runs foul of that, then there is always a penalty for it.
Other stakeholders also proffer solutions to dealing with the menace.
We are working tirelessly to seek the collaboration of all the agencies of government or the species or branches of MDAs that has issue with land matters to assist us in ensuring that all this issue is discouraged and is dealt with from the board.
We collaborate with that agency from our branch because we have a lot of problems of land grabbing. However, after doing or conducting their proceedings, you still find out that they come up with reports. What is the status of their report? They are just like toothless bulldog.
Special court is created. It will help in expediting action so that some cases that are taking so long before they are getting judgment will come to being and be executed on time. And so we have results. And so those that are supposed to be punished will be punished, and it will serve as deterrence to others.
And just before we go, let's bring you a recap of some of the legal stories that made the headlines.
We begin with the report that the Supreme Court has fixed November the 1st to begin definite hearing on applications in the suit seeking to stop the federal government from ceding 17 oil wells in Rivers State to Imo State. Rivers State had filed a suit against the federal government and the Imo State government seeking a declaration that the boundary between Rivers and Imo State as delineated on Nigeria Administrative Map and other maps bearing similar delineations are inaccurate and do not represent the legitimate boundaries between both states. The Apex Court had granted an interim injunction against the federal government pending the determination of the suit brought before it by the Rivers State government. At the hearing of the suit on Tuesday, September the 21st, a 7-man panel of justices, led by Justice Kekereekun, granted a motion filed by the Attorney General of the Federation for leave to regularize the court papers filed. The AGF has filed an application challenging the jurisdiction of the courts to hear the suit. Through his counsel, the AGF argued that the suit of the Rivers State government is instituted against actions of some federal government agencies and not the federal government itself, and as such, the Federal High Court is the best place to hear the suit. At the Federal High Court in Abuja, Justice Ahmed Mohammed has fixed November the 17th to hear all applications by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, the Attorney General of Imo State, and 48 others, challenging the jurisdiction of the court to hear a suit filed by the former governor of Imo State, Senator Rochas Okorocha, seeking to stop the state government from confiscating and demolishing his property. Justice Mohammed fixed the date after counsel to Okorocha, Mr. Oba Maduabuchi, told the court that his head of chambers had passed on. On August the 12th, the court declined the request of the former governor for an order to stop the EFCC and the Imo State governor from confiscating his property based on reports of various panels that investigated allegations of financial infractions he reportedly committed while in office. Another judge of the Federal High Court Abuja has fixed November the 30th for judgment in a suit filed by the post-emir of Kano, Lamido Sanusi, against the Kano State government and others. Justice Anwali Chikere fixed the date after counsel for the parties in the matter adopted their written addresses. In a motion ex parte dated March the 12th, 2020, the former emir had sought an interim order of the court releasing him from the detention and/or confinement of the respondents and restoring his right to human dignity and personal liberty. At the Lagos High Court, the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdulrasheed Bawa, has testified about how an oil marketer, Abubakar Peters, and his company Nadabo Energy Limited forged documents to obtain the sum of 1.4 billion naira as subsidy from the federal government. The EFCC chairman, who was in the witness box for over 6 hours, gave extensive details of how the EFCC conducted its investigations and uncovered the fraud through the witness. The court also admitted in evidence several documents as proof of the alleged fraud. The case has been adjourned till November the 1st and 2nd this year for the cross-examination of the EFCC chairman. And we round off with a report that members of the Ogun State chapter of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria have suspended the industrial action they embarked on over 2 months ago. The state chairman of the union, Tajuddin Edun, announced the suspension on Thursday after a meeting between his members and officials of the state government. He said that the series of meetings held by the striking union and officials of the state government culminated in the decision to suspend the industrial action, which has paralyzed activities at the various courts across the state since it commenced on the 11th of August. He also revealed that the government has accepted the demands of the workers, just as the workers have resolved to work with the government to take the state to greater heights.